Hi everybody, it's Monday evening. Welcome to another week of meals on the SeeSaw. Tonight I've got a fish pie. Fish pie is one of those meals that's hard to make look attractive, but this has got a fish pie mix. It's got some hard-boiled eggs in it. It's got frozen peas. Then it's got a sauce made. So this is a Slimming World fish pie from one of their magazines. And so the sauce is just some fish stock thickened with some corn flour. And that makes the sauce essentially, so it's not a cheesy sauce. But then the mashed potato on the top has got some natural Greek yogurt mixed through it to give it the nice mash, and then I did sprinkle some cheese over the top before it went in the oven. So I've got that with some sliced green beans and some broccoli. So off to enjoy this on a cold and chilly Monday evening. So several areas around us have had snow this afternoon, which wasn't even in the forecast. And we haven't. We had a lot of hail this afternoon. So I'm really feeling quite wintry, probably for the first time this winter. So this comforting fish pie will be a good fix for tonight. Hi everybody, so it is Tuesday evening and I've got something a bit different for dinner tonight. So I've got jerk seasoned pork with coconut, rice and beans, a pineapple salsa and a bit of salad. So these are just pork medallions or pork steaks that I coated in a mixture of cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice and black pepper. Equal part. I used about half a teaspoon of each to give it that jerk style seasoning. You could use a pre-made jerk seasoning also. I then grilled them for about 6 or 7 minutes on each side. They are quite thick, so I wanted to make sure they were nicely cooked through. Then for the rice, I just used 200 grams of long grain rice, a can of light coconut milk, along with about 100 mils of water, a can of kidney beans, which I rinsed and drained. I also put some garlic granules in there and some thyme. And then when it was cooked, I cooked it for about 15 minutes, brought it up to a boil and then let it simmer for about 15 minutes with the lid on. And then I stirred through some chopped spring onion with that as well. And then the salsa is just a mixture of some fresh pineapple, which I've chopped up, with a red onion, a red pepper and a red chili pepper. And then I squirted over that. I had 2 limes in the fruit bowl and I just took the juice out of both of the limes and poured that over to mix through. So quite healthy but delicious looking for a cold Tuesday night. So jerk pork with coconut rice and beans and pineapple salsa. Hi everybody, it's Wednesday evening and tonight I've made a moussaka. So haven't made one of these for ages. I quite enjoy this, a typical Greek meal. It's a bit like a lasagna, pasta bake, that sort of thing, but don't actually use any pasta. We'll use sliced potatoes, sliced roasted aubergines. So I made a basic meat sauce with mince, onion, carrot, garlic, some chopped tomatoes, tomato puree, oregano and cinnamon, and then I just let that cook for about 20 minutes or so. In the meantime, I boiled some potatoes whole, and then just when they were starting to soften, sliced them up, and then I sliced 2 small aubergines lengthwise and I roasted them in a 200-degree oven for about 20 minutes, turning them halfway to get them cooked through. And then I layered up the mince mixture, the aubergine, the potatoes, more mince, more aubergine, and then I made a topping with 2 eggs and about 250 grams of Greek yogurt, fat-free Greek yogurt, and some nutmeg to season it. And then over the top I sprinkled a little bit of Parmesan and a little bit of low-fat cheddar, and then baked the whole thing for about another half an hour. So that is our dinner for tonight. You can see all the gravy juices coming out of it. There's the rest of the moussaka there. So off to enjoy this for a Wednesday evening. Hi everybody, so it's Thursday evening and tonight we've got sort of fake fried chicken, so oven baked chicken, sweet potatoes, baked beans and some salad. So these are just chicken thigh fillets, so boneless, skinless. I've had them marinated all day in a mixture of natural yogurt with some Worcester sauce, garlic granules and onion powder. Then when I got home I just mixed some flour, plain flour, with smoked paprika and a little bit more of the garlic and onion powder. I then just took the chicken out of the marinade mixture, dipped one side into the flour mixture onto a lined baking pan, and then they cooked in the oven for about half an hour on 220 to give a nice kind of crispy coating on them. Got a little bit of tomato, cucumber and lettuce, some baked beans. Now this is interesting because these were sweet potato wedges that I was cooking in the actor fryer, and after 30 minutes, so potatoes in the actor fryer for us take about 30 to 35 minutes. I checked them at 30 minutes. They were cooked through, but they just weren't quite done how I wanted them. So I put it back on for 3 minutes, and in that 3 minutes they disintegrated. So this is how they sort of started out, as kind of wedges of sweet potato. And you can see some of them have just completely disintegrated. Now I've tasted them. They taste absolutely fine. They're still chunks of sweet potato. They're just in all kinds of random shapes. So still perfectly edible, still will be delicious with this sort of meal. So we're off to enjoy this on a Thursday evening. Hi everybody, so it's Friday evening, it's Valentine's night, so happy Valentine's Day to you, although it will be well past Valentine's Day by the time you see this. So tonight for our fake away we're having sweet and sour chicken. So Caleb has got a good old-fashioned Uncle Ben's sauce on his with some white rice. And then he loves pineapple, but he doesn't like pineapple mixed in with hot food, like in sweet and sour. So he's got his fresh pineapple on the side of his. And then for mine, I've made mine from a Slimming World recipe for sweet and sour chicken. So this was a red onion cut into wedges, a couple of peppers cut into chunks, and I just cooked those for a few minutes just to get them started and starting to colour. Then I added in the chopped chicken to that mixture, and then I made a simple sauce with equal parts of corn flour, tomato ketchup, soy sauce and vinegar, cider vinegar. So I like my sweet and sour quite saucy, so I use 3 tablespoons of each. I mix the corn flour into the ketchup to make a paste, and then I added the soy sauce and vinegar and kind of combined it well. And then the interesting part for me, so I added a little bit of ginger and garlic granules. And then the interesting part for me was the rest of the sauce was made with 5 tablespoons of the orange and pineapple sugar-free squash liquid concentrate, made up to 500 mils with water. And so I stirred that in until it was all combined, poured that over the chicken and vegetables, brought it up to a gentle simmer, and then cooked for about 15 minutes, just gave it a stir every now and again, and the sauce looks really good. Now once it came off the heat, I added in some of the chopped fresh pineapple, and if you can see in there anywhere, a little red chilli, which I just chopped up to give it some heat. So quite an interesting mixture. I've tasted the sauce and it actually tastes really nice. I'm not sure it's completely sweet and sour, but it is a really nice Chinese flavoured sort of sauce. So I'm really looking forward to trying this one, and I've just got mine with some white rice as well. There is some of the Uncle Ben's one left, and there is some of this one left, so Tony will get to choose which he wants, perhaps some of each on his plate. So we're off to enjoy this for our Valentine's fake away supper. Hi everybody, so it's Saturday evening, and tonight we've got one of our kind of go-to meals, a crock pot roasted chicken. We've got baked potatoes with cheese and then salad. So Caleb's got carrot, cucumber and beetroot. And then that is mine. I've got a little bit of coleslaw with mine, beetroot and a couple of pickled onions, along with lettuce and tomato. So off to enjoy this. The storm has finally rolled in here. It's pretty windy out there now. There's been a bit of rain this afternoon, although not actually too much. I think the rain is supposed to be worse tomorrow. So off to enjoy this and settle down for Saturday evening. Hi everybody, so it's Sunday evening, and instead of roast dinner tonight, I've made a pork casserole. I made it on the stove top in a big casserole pot. And this is Caleb's plated up and just cooling off, so you can sort of see what the contents are. But if I move over here to the big pot, you can see all I did was I coated some pork. So these were the pork steaks. I just cut them up into pieces. I used about 6 of them for this. You could use a small joint of shoulder pork. You want something with a little bit of fat on it still, not too lean because it's going to cook for quite a long time. You could easily do this in the crock pot as well. So I just started out with, I cooked a little bit of onion and garlic in a splash of olive oil, just to get it softening a little bit, probably about 3 or 4 minutes. And then I added the pork, which I had dusted with some seasoned flour, so flour with a bit of salt and pepper added. Added that in, let that all cook away for about another 5 minutes. Then I took the pork and the onions out of the pot, added another splash of oil and put in 2 chopped carrots and a chopped stick of celery. Let that cook together for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I added in probably 2/3 of a punnet of mushrooms, which I sliced up, and again another 2 or 3 minutes for that. Then to that I added 2 pints of stock, so I used 1 pint of vegetable stock and 1 pint of water with 2 OXO cubes crumbled in. A can of chopped tomatoes, a couple of sprigs of fresh thyme, but you could use dry thyme, some dried rosemary, which I just crushed together to kind of break it up a little bit as I put it in, and some baby potatoes, which you can see there, which I just cut into halves. Mix that all together, let the whole thing cook together. A little bit more pepper I added as well. Let the whole thing cook together for about an hour. And then to finish it off, I added in a drained can of sweet corn and a really big handful of frozen green beans. You could use fresh. Brought it back up to a bubble, and then I took 2 tablespoons of flour and about 1/4 cup of water just to make a little slurry, and I stirred that through, and that just thickened up into a nice gravy. So you can see all of the veggies in there, the big pieces of pork, the delicious gravy. This is perfect for a stormy winter's weekend, and just something a bit different to our usual Sunday roast. So we're going to tuck into this. There's going to be plenty there for tonight, probably enough leftovers for lunch for tomorrow, for me and or Tony. So yeah, looking forward to this. And that's it for another week of meals. Thank you for joining us this week, and we hope to see you back here on the SeeSaw soon.